Welcome to Redvee TV, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2019 season, as we look ahead to the round 27 Super League clash against the Castleford Tigers this Friday evening at the Totally Wicked Stadium. Oh, look who's back.
And as you can tell, I'm thrilled to be back in the country.
You've not missed much.
No, I didn't think so.
Back on the horse.
Yeah, that's it. You'd hope so. You'd hope that they'd be obviously looking to put in a performance. I'd be surprised if it was anything other than that after the disappointment of Saturday. Again, they're not going to go out there and try and turn in a bad performance, but...
Listen, do you know what it confirms to me? Do you know what? We're not the greatest team ever.
No.
And guess what? We're all of a sudden, because we've lost one game, not the worst either.
Yeah.
We're, on our day, well, consistently, we're the best team in the league. But it's a sport. On your day, you can be beaten by anyone. And we win... Well, Warrington, second place in the table, we're in the best place to do that.
Yeah, well, I've seen a lot of knee-jerk reaction, obviously being away. I did watch the game, managed to get it, while drinking champagne, you know, as you do. Yeah, I saw a lot of knee-jerk on
How do the draft
on social media. It's what you say about 4 minutes. Like, including, there was one idiot who said Holbrook should be sacked now, like a couple of weeks before the end of the season. What an absolute bonehead there.
Sit on that fence, Kev.
Exactly, I'm back. There was another bloke who said Saints should reimburse everybody who went to Wembley after that performance. Listen, if you've never watched sport before in your life, get used to that. Because that for me, that's sport. I mean, we support two of the most frustrating football teams in the world, and possibly one of the most frustrating rugby teams in the world.
Do you know what I did before the game? I was pointing out all the different areas in the stadium of where I've seen us get beat.
But you know what? People turning around saying, "Oh well, we didn't play well, so you should give us our money back." What absolute rubbish!
If we win, you pay double.
Yeah, well, yeah, is that it? But you know what? There's a lot of knee-jerk, and you can understand some of it. I mean, some of it, I've just mentioned some ridiculous ones. You look at the team that got picked. I didn't see many, if any, people saying that was going to be the wrong decision.
We said for weeks that that's what would happen. We'd put people in bubble wrap, rest them up. In hindsight, if possible, and I think Justin Holbrook said the same, yeah, it would have been ideal to give them a bit of game time, but some of them weren't right to go. It just wasn't right. And then we've had the worst summer for years. And then we roll up to Wembley with 30-degree heat. You couldn't have predicted over the weeks before that was going to happen. And then, listen, the problem is, right, you talk about decisions that have happened in games and all of a sudden it becomes sour grapes. It's not. Listen, Warrington did a job on us.
That's it.
Decisions went their way and they capitalised on them and you rolled it perfectly. That's how it is.
You've got to say well done to Warrington for their performance. Simple game plan, good kicking game. Absolutely.
And often, quite a lot of games between big sides are dominated by decisions. Unfortunately, we didn't get the rub of the green. It is all ifs, buts and maybes, but if that try gets given, or the Percival one, well, it gets given because it's either ripped out by Masilla, or we go back and get the knock on, we've got the ball, rather than Warrington going up, getting a repeat set from the following possession, and scoring off it. So 12-0 to 6, it's a different game, and you go 12-0 up.
Was that the repeat set where they knocked on into...
Yeah. So again, the decision that went away, they got the rub of the green. It's potentially a different game if you're 12-0 up than being 6-0 down.
I think you're right.
It's frustrating.
It's potentially... There's no saying the Morgan Knowles no try would have gone on to win us the game. It'd have put us in a better situation. If Rob Hicks goes to the video ref, then it slows the game down. The whole game after it is completely different,
and we're not forcing passes out to get back in the game.
Yeah, potentially. And I think that's what happened.
And listen, I looked at the Tom Lanham decision where he collects the ball and burrows over.
Yeah. Again, you'd be dirty if that was given against you, wouldn't you?
Well, all I said was Kieran Cunningham wouldn't have scored half as many tries in his career.
Exactly.
So for me, that was a try. But it is swings and roundabouts. We'll never know. And that's the frustrating thing. But that said, there's 3 games left now in the regular season.
Yep.
And then we've got 2 cracks, if we need it, at home in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we haven't lost for what? We haven't lost all season at home. So why do we suddenly assume that we're the worst team ever and we're going to lose twice on the bounce in a playoff game? Knee-jerk reactions. For me, we're still clearly the best team in the competition. The only thing we've got to do now is show that dominance and collect the trophy at the end of the season.
Yeah, as you say, it is knee jerk, and you can understand it when people are upset at the ale or at the day out ruined or whatever. Yeah, we've got an unfortunate reputation now because we do keep pulling up short in the big games. And you
got to
can,
get there.
Yeah, and you can see why people are getting anxious, but that's probably not going to help anybody. It's not going to help the team. It's not going to help the coaching staff.
And it's not the same set of players who've lost all these games.
Yeah,
it's a new team.
You've got to stay. I think you have got to try and stay positive with it. If you don't stay positive with it, then you might as well stop rolling.
Listen, we said last week, if Saints turn up on their day and play like we can, we will win.
Yeah.
We didn't on Saturday.
No.
That's the long and short of it. We didn't perform how we performed all season. Now, for me, you've got a chance to rectify that within I think it's 45 days now till a grand final. So you've got 3 games where I'm sure we will hit out.
Yeah.
And we'll get ready for the playoffs.
And the good thing now is, obviously, there's 2 changes to the squad. Where Lachlan Coote misses out due to concussion protocol, which I've seen again some people on social media say, well, why did he play if he wasn't fit? It happened during the game.
Yeah. And you've got to be missing 7 days afterwards.
Yeah. Dom Peru misses out due to a minor knock. Matty Costello and Jack Wellsby come in. But Holbrook has said that he's going to try and play as much of a settled side as he can from now until the end of the season.
So would you assume 14 and 15 of the 17 each week will be?
Yes, I'd say so. I'd say he's going to be looking at. You want to be using now a maximum of probably 20 players if you can get away with it.
I've seen people saying, put Danny Rich back in Friday. No, you need Lomax and Farge need to now play every single week together till the end of the year for me.
Yeah, well, if they're his first choice halfback combination, then yeah. If they're the ones that he's got the faith and the trust in, yeah.
And equally, Jack Wellsby, for me, is he a reserve fullback? Yes, he is. So he plays now, because if Lachlan Coote isn't fit for any reason, Jack Wellsby gets slotted in.
Well, there was something that came up a couple of years ago when Kieran Cunningham was in charge, and he said, Ricky Bailey's my second choice at fullback. We got an injury at fullback, and all of a sudden the team was shuffled around, and it wasn't just you fit one player in. I'd prefer to see that rather than see Lomax come out the halves or Makinson come off the wing. I'd prefer to see the full.
Keep going.
All right. Small technical error.
Technical errors. Low battery.
Yeah, I'd prefer just to see like for like slotting. So obviously with Peru missing, you just put a second rower straight in there. So whether that's Bentley, who's the next choice in, or whether it's Paolo to start or Louis to start, we're just fitting a like for like in. We're not doing no big, right, we're going to change the team round and see how we go.
For me, though, as a fan base, we need to keep behind them. Not be funny, we're potentially 45 days from being champions.
Yeah.
Which is, we all want to win the cup, but people remember champions more.
Well, yeah. There's
a difference between winning 3 or 4 games to win a Challenge Cup and winning the league and being champions. And listen, that's not sour grapes, because listen, I wanted to win that cup final on Saturday more than anyone.
Yeah.
But
unfortunately, this is probably a conversation we could keep having. The Challenge Cup seems to be a devalued competition, when back in the day that was the big one. Yeah. That was the one that you wanted to win. It's probably because of the professionalism and semi-professionalism that's crept into the game that you don't see some of the upsets and what have you.
And do you think it's the way the bigger sides now only enter later in the competition?
Yeah, I'd like to see everybody in there early. I'd like to see the big, what we call the prestige events of the Challenge Cup. Magic Weekend, I suppose, is the big one, mainly because it's a money spinner, and the grand final. I'd like to see him kind of equidistant throughout the season. I like the word. Equidistant, I like that. Just throughout the season, just so people know that they're going to occur. People know that there's a Challenge Cup final, and I know the dates come out. I forgot what the new date
July
is.
18th.
But they know there's a Challenge Cup final. They know there's Magic Weekend. They know there's a grand final. They don't necessarily know they're going to get to 2 of them. but it gives people a chance to save money and kind of get to him. I'd prefer to start with Magic Weekend, but have it as one of the regular rounds and not have it as an extra round. And
the other issue I've seen from me is people saying bring the Challenge Cup final, oh, Wembley's too big, bring it up north. Well, the minute you bring it up north, St Warrington would have been at the Macron, Bolton, University of Bolton Stadium. You'd get 25,000, that's it. And then your cup's gone. It's got to stay at Wembley. For the sake of the game, it's got to stay there. Is it ever going to be full? But you know what? The League 2 playoff finals played at Wembley. League 1 is. They probably only get 40, 50,000, but it's still played there. You've got to keep it where it is and try and build it bigger again.
I wrote something on this for the site a couple of years ago on how we had to keep it at Wembley and how it should be bigger than Magic Weekend.
I've reposted it.
Yeah. It's...
We'll find it.
Yeah, and put it back on. I think it was an open letter after... Was it Roger Draper?
Yes, it would have been. Was it when he was at Warrington?
Who said that Magic Weekend was possibly now bigger than the Challenge Cup, and looking at moving from Wembley, and you can't. One of the issues with it is people do want to go and watch rugby on the cheap. Now, if that's a prestige event, people should be seeing it as such. And I know that the North of England isn't necessarily awash with money at the minute, but it's a prestige event. So you've got to sell it as that prestige event. If you start selling tickets for a tenner, all of a sudden people find out that tickets have gone up to 20 quid and they go, oh, well, I could get them for a tenner last year, I'm not bothered.
I think it'll benefit it moving back to July as well.
Yes,
and make it easier for transport. No doubt next year's Robex will all, and rail ones will move to the middle of July. Yeah. It's deliberate. But yeah, that said, listen, Friday night, League Leaders Shield presentation.
Yep.
And do you know what? We need to celebrate that. Probably more than... Yeah, we know it's not the big one. I know we're not going to claim, oh, look, we're champions. But do you know what? That's a sign of consistency. It's a trophy.
I think Holbrook's actually said it's the hardest one to win as well.
Yeah.
It is a shame, we've said it numerous times, that winning the League Leaders Shield isn't the biggest thing in the world. No. It's not something that well, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Because it looks like if we celebrate it like mad on Friday, then it'll be like, oh well, they didn't do that with or they're doing that because they've lost the Challenge Cup. If we undercook it again this time, then it's, well, look at them disrespecting it again.
Yeah.
But the same people who say we're disrespecting it are the same ones who go, well, it doesn't matter.
They're the same people that whatever the council do will moan.
Yeah.
You can't please everyone, but do you know what?
They're the same people on People of St Helens Facebook group. Could you hear Creamfields? It's a disgrace.
Listen, right, we're 45 days out, I think, from Old Trafford.
You keep saying it, so it better be true.
It's close. We've got a job to do.
Yeah.
And the fans need to get behind it, because we were quiet at Wembley. And listen, I understand we didn't have much to shout about, and there was the nerves, but be proud of what we've got, and don't jump off the bandwagon.
Yeah, we're still rolling. We're still
the same side. We've lost 4 games all season. Yeah. Unfortunately, we lost 1. That matters.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Saints fans will obviously look back on different finals or semi-finals that we chucked away when we've been in good positions. Was it 2002 when we should have won the Challenge Cup and
Radlinski got off his deathbed?
What happened in the grand final that year?
We smashed Wigan. There you go.
Keep the faith.
Now, who do you want to play at Old Trafford? Do you want revenge or do you...
Hulk it out.
And play a week in the side just so certain Hulk IR fans can whinge about it. Yeah, but hey, listen, Castleford tomorrow night isn't going to be an easy game, is it?
Well, they've got Liam Watts back as well, which is a big...
And lots to play for.
Yeah.
And obviously Warrington have got to win out as well for second. So there's other teams have got big games to come and play for.
Can I just say it's an absolute farce that Warrington have to play on Thursday?
Yeah.
That is an absolute joke, that.
Yeah. Is it going to be the first 17 who's sober? Speaking of which, and I don't want to go into it too much, but I seen Josh Charnley singing about Tommy Makinson and Lachlan Coote. I just don't get it. Why Tommy Makinson?
He said it was the first song that came into his... I've not actually seen
it. And all the players have been singing all weekend.
Yeah,
I just don't get it.
Well,
it's
up to him, but it's good to see Saints and Wigan as united in a good cause in the same
But we're still in the Reds, aren't we?
Yeah.
Listen, it is what it is. Just celebrate how you want to celebrate. And
it's nice living rent free in the Reds, though, isn't it?
yeah. Oh God, people tweet us that. That's usually Wiganers to us, isn't it? But yeah, back on the horse. We'll get going again. And listen, you take the rough with the smooth, don't you? And I've seen a couple of people missed you on the instant reaction after the game. Somehow thinking that if you'd have been on after Wembley, you'd have been so bad. Listen,
no.
for the few moments Kev who came on with us, you do realise I had to go and find him in the stand and pick him up off the floor. It's an instant reaction. That's what it's meant to be. Was he angry? It was anger, disappointment, and it reflects what many fans were thinking. I tell you what, I should have done instant reaction on the motorway back home, because every service station, dearie me, the conversation I heard was getting worse and worse. I think Holbrook was halfway back to Australia getting the sack by the time I got to near the last services, and it's like, listen, come on, be disappointed, remember what this feels like, because do you know what the players do? They made them watch, didn't they?
Yeah, well, Mark Percival said that they watched to make sure that they could feel the hurt, and hopefully that steals them. Listen, if they've got to do that, if they've got to get a sports psychologist in, do it. But they've got to now do whatever they can to win that grand final.
Do you know what I didn't like? And I'll say that. James Roby apologising.
Yeah, you know what?
For what?
And this is where I've had a chat with one of the blokes in work who's a Saints fan as well, and we're on about Roby and said, I text you saying he's looking his age today, and I thought he looked Roby. Then I've seen today they published he made 65 tackles
in 30-degree heat,
and you're thinking, yeah, how do you do that?
I listen, the game I watched, and listen, I watched it sober. The effort was there. We were trying everything we possibly could, all the set moves, and you could see we were desperate to get back in the game, and probably that make things worse, maybe so, but the effort was there, and that is all I asked for from the Saints side. Listen, I'm not one of these happy clappers. I've quite often, you know what I'm like, I support Everton. If they're bad, I will boo them off. I've seen Saints side of the DW where they've been embarrassing, and I've booed them off. I've got no issue with booing teams off, and I will have decided, if you pay your money, you deserve to boo. But the effort was there.
That's it. There was again, we don't want to go on too much about it. It has gone, but there was a couple of good sets in the second half where we were keeping Warrington down on their own line. They weren't getting out, and you're watching it and you're like thinking, any minute now, the dam was going to break, and we're going to go over.
And praise Warrington, they didn't make a mistake.
Correct. And then the kicking game, every time they found the ground, and they found the ground with a good bounce, and it went on. And we were then picking it up from inside our own 10. We were making mistakes. Regan Grace knocks on over the line. We're then making mistakes because they're being forced by Warrington. Fair play to Warrington. Challenge Cup final never happened. I never went. That's it. Done
and dusted.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's about it.
Ranted enough there.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we will catch you for an instant reaction on Friday evening.
Where I will be sober.
I'm back. Catch you soon.